And welcome to the NFHS Network. I'm Carlos Chicas, and I'll be your play-by-play for the next 48 hours. Chase, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. It's our three-peat here this afternoon, and we're in a new city this year. We traded Benton for Conway. Well, the City of Colleges this weekend has become the City of Champions for the Weekend of Champions, and we've got a lot of exciting soccer action coming up over the weekend, as well as baseball and softball just across the road.
Hardin versus the Senators today, looking at what the match expectations and how they got to this finals stage. It's very interesting. These teams are both capable of scoring a lot of goals. We're going to see some faces that we became familiar based on what we have done in the past. The lineup for the two teams in the playoffs right now. You want to start with Hardin?
Sure, these are the starting lineups for the Wildcats. Jama Akpanudo, who starred in last year's state championship game, she's starting today, along with Sydney Patton, Nora Henderson, and Lola Madden also in the starting lineup. Also starting for the Wildcats, Anna Snow, Chloe Fullerton, Cali City, and Clare City, Mary Duggar, Katie Jones, and rounding out the lineup for the Wildcats as the goalie will be Crimson Fager.
And for Los Senadores, the Senators, under the three posts, Alaina Dupas, Bella K, Lucy Cleveland, Izzy Clinton, Peyton Barrow, Sienna Tate, Parker Barrow, Makola Howell, Mari Berryman, and Macy Bell. That's the starting lineup the coach sent to the field. Senators wearing black and Hardin traditional colors that we're used to.
They're wearing the white and red. They wore the red jerseys last year, but wearing those white home jerseys here today. What an impressive year it's been for the Wildcats. They still have yet to be handed a loss here in 2023. And the first two times these teams met this year, their conference opponents, Harding Academy taking both of those matches, most recently a win for the Wildcats 3-0 back on April 17th.
And for the next 4 games, you're going to be able to catch us here live at NFHS Network, the place to be, coming live from the press box of Los Osos, the Bears of UCA. Center referee checking his clock with his ARs. It's going to be hot. Make sure that you bring... I don't think you need to bring, but I think their concession stands are going to be open so you can catch your refreshments and everything else. But it's going to be a great week. It's the Weekend of Champions. And then we are going to kick off with the first match between Robinson Senators and Hardin Academy. The center referee has blown the whistle, and Chase, here we go again.
It's exciting to be back, and you know that Harding Academy is excited to be back here this afternoon, looking to defend their title from a year ago. They won 3-1 against Episcopal, and today Joe T. Robinson looking to make their mark and win a state title of their own.
Fullerton putting pressure, now crossing the ball, the middle of the field. Harding is going to try to bring the ball down, but the Senators now trying to get with a long ball and try some indirect building in the middle third, but unsuccessfully with that long ball. It's Hardin on the right side, moving the ball, getting to number 15, City. City connecting on the left side with number 25 on the jersey, Madden. Madden with the right foot sends a long ball, trying to connect with City. She's going to control the ball with the left foot. And support wasn't there. And you mentioned before the starting of the match, the surface very different of what we have done in the past.
You've got the purple and gray turf here at UCA, one of the standouts of the stadium here. Really one of the standout turfs, not only here in the state of Arkansas, but in the entire country. You don't see too many of those colored turfs, but UCA has certainly left its mark on the college football landscape with this turf, and now we get to play on this unique surface for today's championship games.
How was the drive from Hot Spring this way, Chase?
It was actually pretty nice. Not too bad. You know, there's some traffic right now on I-30. They've been remodeling towards the Benton area for several years now, but Overall, the traffic was nice. You know, the rush hour traffic from the morning at least had started to pass out by that point, so got up here in reasonable time.
Player to watch on Harding, Akpanuro, number 6 on the jersey, very skillful, very fast. It's going to be a headache that the Senators are going to have to find a way to stop it, to neutralize their attack. As the ball comes to the final third for Harding, number 25 looks like he's going to get the ball, be out of bounds for a throw-in. Martin trying to connect. The ball comes back to Henderson. Henderson connecting with Panudo. And now on the go is Fullerton. The ball's come back to Fullerton. Fullerton has a shot on goal. She's going to take it, crossing the ball to the far post. And it's going to be a goal kick. 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Right now, looks like the Senators are just getting a feeling of what Harding is going to try to do in this match.
And they'll have to be careful, too, because something you're already seeing early here is that Harding's trying to keep it in that defensive third for their opponent. That was the key last year's success against Episcopal. Harding kept it in the defensive third of their opponent for most of the match. And you know, Carlos, when you have the ball down close to the goal for most of the match, good things typically happen, and that was the case for the Wildcats. They got 3 goals. Episcopal only able to capitalize with 1 goal on the match, and that proved to be the difference maker.
Now that you mentioned, I don't know if you had an opportunity to catch the Champions League semifinals between Real Madrid and Manchester City, where Manchester City has a history, at least in the champions, not being able to, jump off that hurdle of winning the champions. But the possession and the game plan that Pep Guardiola had against Real Madrid couldn't do anything. Going back to your early comment, when you maintain the ball, when you have possession in that final third, something is going to come up.
And that's going to be the key for both of these teams today, because we've talked about their offenses, but they're also 2 of the best defenses that you're going to find in the state at any classification. For both of these teams, you have to go back to the month of April to see the last time that they allowed a goal. The last time that Robinson allowed a single goal in a match was in that loss to Harding Academy back on April 17th. Neither of those 2 teams have lost since then. They've both scored at least 2 goals in every match they've played since that time. So it's going to be interesting to see what gets the upper hand here today. Will it be the powerhouse offenses, or will those defenses lock down early and prevent plenty of scoring from happening?
And just looking at how this team got here, Chase, it's incredible just to see the quality first of games that you have to play, and that many games that you have to play, because the Senators came, and just to give you a little history on how they got to this stage, they started very strong, winning 7-0 against Hope, and they moved to the next round where they faced Darnell, and they took 3-0, and then against Brooklyn 2-0. So, that's why we were mentioning about how capable both teams are, or the scoring opportunities. Harding, during the first match of the playoffs, took on Mina 11-0. And on May 12th, they shut down a team from Northwest Arkansas, Shiloh Christian, 6-0. And then, if that wasn't enough, Prairie Grove, things like a handball. I think the center referee didn't call it. I think they gave her a break on that one. The goalkeeper picked up the ball outside the 18. And I don't know how it's on the field for the players, but those are some things that goalkeepers are going to be, they're going to have to pay attention to that, because one particular play there can get them in trouble. Coming back to how Harding Academy got to the finals, they took on Prairie Grove 7-0. And here you have the best two teams on the division, trying to one repeat and the other one trying to take one home.
Well, and what's interesting about Harding Academy, too, is that we're talking about them repeating, but they're not actually repeating in the same classification. They were in 3A last year, made the move up this year, and sometimes you start to wonder when you make that move between classifications, can you continue that dominance because you're playing new conference opponents? A lot of the times you're playing larger rosters. There's a big difference between the two classifications, but Harding Academy has come and shown that they're just as capable of dominating at the 4A level as they were at the 3A level a year ago. They have yet to lose since moving to the classification, and they want to seal this season right here with a state title.
Akpanudo getting to the top of the box. Looks like it's going to be a free kick for Harding Academy on that foul. And if Harding has a left shooter, that can be a perfect angle for someone with a power and quality of placement of the ball. Wait a minute, are we going with a penalty kick?
I think we are going with a PK here. They were saying it was on the edge of the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a penalty kick. And this is where everything starts getting hard. Number 42 on the jersey, Fullerton, in charge of the PK. Fullerton, number 42, Fullerton on 3, 2, 1. Goal! Goal! Goal, 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 goal! Fuller, 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 Fullerton for Harding!
Perfect execution there from Fullerton, the first score here in the state championship match. It was just a tough break there for DePaz because she played the PK perfectly, went to the right side, but it was just even better execution from Fullerton. She put it right into that back left corner to where nobody could get it. What an unbelievable PK right there from the starter for Harding Academy, and what a start for the Wildcats in their first ever 4A state championship game. They hold the early advantage.
And I covered pretty much the 6A West playoffs and during high school season, Chase, and one of the hard things, and we talk about this, we don't have referees. It's hard to develop referees, and it's challenging, when they have to make that decision, because there is no time, there is no VAR for them, and for us sometimes that we have access to resources that unfortunately referees don't have during the games, is that we can go back and check, right? But they don't have that time, and on that call, from here it looked that it was outside the box, but maybe the AR had a better look. Fayetteville in the boys division playing against Sprinda, who played today, I believe, for the finals. The game got delayed and they went into overtime, and right after overtime came, resumed play, and one call that appeared not to be ended up being a penalty kick, and that's how Springdale it's in the finals. But I always say this: none of that should be even part of a discussion if every team takes care of business on the field, right? If you score your opportunities, you shouldn't come and I'm not saying that they're blaming on anybody. I'm just saying, because I was having this conversation with my son who plays for Rogers, and I say, well, the challenge is sometimes is that you miss so many opportunities, you don't put the ball in the net, and then you want to find somebody to blame. I'm not saying that Fayetteville is blaming anybody, and I'm not blaming anybody right now. I'm just saying that sometimes, you look for other reasons.
And there's still plenty of time for Robinson to try to come back in this one. But something we haven't mentioned yet, Carlos, we talked about the turf a little bit, but when you look down at the field right now, the box is not as prominent as it would be at a lot of other places, especially the Benton Athletic Complex. Last year, it was that bold white line that clearly identified where the box is. It's a gray box here at Estes Stadium, and it actually blends in a little bit. You can see where the gray blends in right there, so it makes it a tougher call, especially when it's there on the perimeter. We'll see how that affects the games here today, but we may have already seen a call that was partially affected by the playing surface here at UCA Stadium.
Coming live at NFHS Network. 12 minutes in the first half. We're 1-0. Harding leading. Scored by Fullerton. Top of the 8th minute via penalty kick. Fans making their way into the stadium. Been in UCA in previous years. We used to host the Amigo Cup here at UCA when Manny Sepulveda was involved. Shout out to Manny Sepulveda, who was very involved in outreach community here for UCA. But first time here in campus, I have a friend who played for UCA, Juan Sampson, played football here. His daughter now plays for Bentonville West. I invited him to come, but he wasn't available. Senators moving the ball, trying to connect with somebody. The ball coming to number 25 on the jersey. Not a problem. Moving the ball is Lola. Lola has the support on the left side, but the defense gets on the way, and now it's number 5 on the jersey, Clinton. Clinton, who is a senior, and that's the other thing. Some of the seniors might be the last game that they gonna be wearing the school colors.
And you know that each and every one of those seniors wants to go out on a high note. And some of these seniors, they'll leave here today, and if they haven't already, they'll be going and getting ready for their graduation, getting ready to go on to the next stage. And for some of these players, you're going to go play at the next level, but for some of them, they may never get to play this game again in an organized group this same way, playing for a title with their teammates. So an emotional moment for sure for these seniors, but what an accomplishment just to bring your team here to the Weekend of Champions, to have even a chance at a state title. That's history in and of itself.
26 minutes to play in the half. We're 1-0. Harding looking for another title. Chloe Fullerton in charge of the PK, who has her team right now leading 1-0. Coming live at NFHS Network. If for some reason you won't be able to come and enjoy the game in person, don't worry, we got you. Substitution about to come in, number 13 for the Senators, Sofia Sovic. Long ball. This is where where the goalkeeper needs to be careful. Has to be aware, because you were talking about how that line kind of fades in. And so far, the Senators haven't been able to create some danger for goalkeeper.
And we have the benefit of a bird's eye view up here at the top of the stadium. That's something that the players don't have. So we can barely see the line right there at the
counter attack for Harding in the bash. An opportunity with a shot, but the ball didn't stay on her feet. And that was number 23, I believe, on the jersey for Harding. I don't have a number 23 here, Chase, for Harding on the roster.
We don't have a name on the printed roster. I'll go ahead and take a look at our virtual roster, make sure we don't have it there.
Throwing the ball in play. Harding trying to get behind the defense, offside position right in front of the assistant referee. And it's going to be a ball for the Senator as the substitution is going to come in, number 13, Sofia. Taking a break is number 5, Clinton.
And something else that's interesting, too, about Robinson's team that we haven't talked about just yet is that the head coach is Todd Escola. He's actually the head football coach at Robinson as well. Led the Senators to a state championship back in 2021, the 4A state champions in football. They've made the move up to 5A now, But the Senators also making an impressive showing in their new classification this past year.
So Tal Escola,
Yes,
he's the coach, and
is.
he's also the football coach.
Mm-hmm.
Unique transition from football to football.
Exactly.
Reminds me of that comedy show, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
A couple friends said, "Hey, you gotta watch this because they know that I like soccer and it's very entertaining."
Sí. Hay mucha diferencia entre fútbol y fútbol americano.
Se me olvidaba que Chase habla español.
Sí.
Muy bien. Qué momento.
Sí.
Senators trying to cross the half of the field. Number 20 on the jersey, Dagger. And now number 2, Bella. I cannot imagine how the noon game is going to be as far as the temperature.
And especially on turf, that's so tough. It's one of the hottest times of the day. And I feel like we'll even see that in the 2 o'clock game as well. When you start to get into that 3 o'clock, that's usually the hottest time of the day. Sun setting down right on top of the stadium. You have to think that's going to affect the players at some point. Not as much of a factor here in the 10 o'clock game, but we're seeing it from here even at the higher vantage point of the stadium. It's getting pretty warm up here, and it's probably going to transfer down closer to the field as the afternoon moves along.
Shot on goal looks like there is an offside position before that. I found my little old tripod when these things came out. I don't know how long ago, but I'm like, I'm gonna take it. We might be able to use it. So I'm gonna. Let's see if it works, Chase. Now, were you at the NCAA tournament?
I was for basketball
Yes,
this year. I was at the Final Four.
Yeah,
men's Final
I
Four.
think I think I saw it, and I was like, man, this guy is moving up the ladder. He's going to the. How was it?
It was fantastic. I got the opportunity to go down there as a part of the United States Basketball Writers Association. They have a program called the Full Court Press, where they selected, I believe it was about 20 students this year from across the country. We got to go down on the Friday before the Final Four, and we got to do press day with all the teams that were down there. So I got to interview players from Florida Atlantic, Miami, as well as UConn. And then on Saturday, I worked media coordination with the NCAA. Got to meet a lot of personal heroes of mine growing up in sports broadcasting, including Jim Nantz, who was calling his last Final Four with CBS in his hometown of Houston. I got to talk to him right after.
So it was a great event?
Oh, it was fantastic. And Houston's such an amazing town in general, such an amazing sports town, and the atmosphere was especially electric because that weekend not only did you have the Final Four in town for basketball, but baseball had just come back. The Houston Astros were in town. The Houston Rockets were playing basketball at the same time. There was a lot of excitement in the air in the city. You had some seasons winding down, others just starting up. And it was a perfect weekend of sports down in South Texas.
Technology these days, Chase, has spoiled us too much. Sometimes, we become useless when the internet goes off or when things are not the way that we want it, as far as technology goes.
And that's where the old school skills come in handy. That's why it's always good to have an extra notepad with you to take some notes. If you need to take your own stats, that's okay. I've run into that a few times working in Arkansas high school football. Some places, they have better internet connection than others. When you go on the road, you're going to find somewhere along the way where you have some internet trouble. So it's always nice to have that notepad handy just in case you need to write something down.
I wonder if the referees are going to get a water break Looks like they are. Right on time. Top of the 19th minute. So we'll do a water break as well, and we'll be back just shortly. Referees and players coming back to the field. And we were talking about just, at what point if the referees, which, I kind of was kind of sure that they were going to give, that water break. Uh, Again, it's probably very hot, and you can see the players, rolling the sleeves and kind of give themselves a little air. I don't know if you were around, but I believe it was the 1990, either the 90 or the 94. It was one of the 90s World Cup where I believe either Cameroon or Nigeria came with the short sleeve jerseys. And it makes sense. It's in hot water. And they play a lot of games like that. And just prior to the World Cup, they were like, no, the rule says you have to have full sleeves. But it won't hurt to have less things that you have to worry. Ball in the box. So far, Chase, it looks like Harden is the one with more aggressiveness, if I can say that. But maybe that's part of the game plan for Coach Stad, that is going to let Harden do the all of the work in the first half, and maybe second half they come with something else.
Well, at the very least, they've had more control of possession here in the first half. And there again, you have to be careful at the top of the box, because we can see it from here where the box ends right there about the 9-yard line, but it's a little bit faded. It could be tough to see, especially down at field level.
Senators might be in trouble. Ryan shot on goal, and it's going to be a corner kick for Harden as the defender tried to clear that ball and didn't get to it. And you saw a Panudo right there making that run between the near post and the penalty kick to be ready for that cross. But now it's going to be a corner kick for Harden inside the box, defending in zone. You got Harden with two players coming from the far post. Looks like the corner kick wasn't successful. Substitution coming in, number 5. Clinton coming back in.
And a few moments ago, one of the players that really stepped up for Robinson, because it was just a one-on-one situation, that was Lucy Cleveland, the sophomore. She was able to cut off the ball before it was a clear shot in front of the goal, forced that corner kick. And as we saw moments ago, Harding Academy unable to capitalize on the opportunity. So a good job there by Cleveland, making sure it's not a clean look for Harding Academy to try to extend its lead even further early in this match, because at this point, although the pendulum is swinging in Harding Academy's favor a little bit, it can easily swing right back with a quick goal here, a good possession down on the other half. It's just a matter of getting it really out of this defensive third and back into the middle third, and then from there advancing the ball forward.
Matty Berryman took a break for the Senators as goalkeeper Dupas sent the ball back to the middle of the field. Siena tried to get something going for the Senators. Sending a long ball. Now is number 26 on the jersey for Harding. Coach Todd playing with just one player on top. And you, as a forward, Guatemala in World Cup qualifiers always play with Carlos El Pescadito Ruiz, kind of the similar position. And if number 24 for the Senators, Howell, pay attention to how far the goalie is from the goal. When she gets the ball, she finds a way to get a shot, something can happen.
There was a bit of a collision there between Akpanudo and one of the defenders for Robinson.
But this time the foul is going the other way.
Now we're starting to hear Robinson's student section get involved here. You could hear the "you can't do that" chants coming from the left side of the stadium. Something else I've noticed, Carlos, we've got some fans that are on the same eye level as us across the way here today.
Yes, and so is that an apartment complex with the luxury of having those seats there, or how does it work?
Well, it looks to be a special group that's up there. I'm trying to get a better look at the shirts that are up there, but looks like some gold shirts. There maybe some Robinson fans coming out today to support their team.
That can be a good spot when the Bears play football. Harding in the box, an opportunity, but the defense is going to clear. Now they're going to try to pound that ball out. And now two players on top for the Senators, number 2, Kell, and number 24, Howell. And if Coach Tal Escola finds a way to get more numbers, they're going to be able to get something happen. Ball for the Senators. It's going to challenge the one-on-one. Unfortunately, the ball goes out of bounds as number 24, Howell, was trying to get something going for the Senators with 12 minutes left in the half. Harding leading 1-0 via Chloe Fullerton, goal scorer, top of the 8th minute. Moving the ball around. Alaina Dupas on the last touch. Harding wants it. They're going to try to cross the ball. Panudo was ready to take a shot there, but the defense got on the way. Senators clearing that ball.
Good defense that time inside from Peyton Barrow. As again we see The Wildcats trying to get the ball inside to Akpanudo. She is the top scorer for the Wildcats. But they haven't been able to get the ball to her much, at least in the open up to this point.
Number 14 and number 1 coming in, Klein, and taking a break, I believe, was number 24 and number 13. Robinson trying to get something going. Harding is going to lose possession of the ball, and it's going to be a throw-in as number 25, Madden, couldn't control that ball.
Something else I noticed about Harding Academy, look how quickly they shifted from one side of the field to the other. Most of the game has been played in that opposite third, but great hustle there by the Wildcats to set themselves up in a good position to get the ball right back now in the defensive third.
Ten minutes to play in the half. Still 1-0, Harding. Akpanudo putting pressure on the ball. Senators are going to get it back. 25, Madden. It's going to be a throw-in for Robinson. In charge of its number 14 on the jersey. I have a name for number 14 on the roster here for Robinson. Moving the ball. Dominguez. And now long ball, Harding getting inside the box, but good job by the defense. Sending the ball to the throw-in. Cross ball. It's going to be a goal kick for the Senators, while goalkeeper Dupas.
And the last Robinson defender to knock that ball out of bounds, again, it was Barrow. And these aren't necessarily the glamorous plays like the goals you're going to see that show up on the stat sheet, but Barrow has shown some great hustle, preventing what could have been easy looks for Harding down low.
Good pressure by Harding. Crossing that ball. Number 2 has it. They're asking for a foul. Center referee says not a problem. Good movement of the ball by number 15 for Harding City. Right footer connecting with number 9, Henderson. At Panudo. Panudo fighting for that ball. I'm not a fan of those knee braces that number 14 is using. I don't know how comfortable for the player is to play with that on. But if it works, by all means, right? This is where the Senators are going to have to be a little bit patient when trying to go with a long ball on that particular play. You know, sometimes you got to find a way to hold the ball a little longer just to try to create something. Akpanudo. It's going to be a foul there on Akpanudo. Number 42, Fullerton. Fullerton and Akpanudo connect well when in the attack.
They've got great chemistry, and you can tell that these are two teammates that have played with each other a long time. For Akpanudo, you know, soccer runs in her family's blood at this point. It seems like her older brother also played for Harding Academy. He was a star with the team, won a state championship as well, and now he's playing for Harding University on their team. And now the younger Akpanudo sibling, Jama, making a name for herself in her own right here at the high school level.
Fullerton with a free kick. Goalkeeper doesn't want any trouble. Let the ball go out. And it's going to be a goal kick for Robinson.
And Carlos, something we haven't talked about a ton yet is how Estes Stadium here in Conway, nowadays, a lot, especially with Division I colleges, you usually see specialized fields for soccer and for football, but this is one of those multi-purpose facilities. We're used to seeing it in high schools especially, but you don't see it as much at the college level, but that is the case here at UCA.
You know, and I'm sure as the sport keeps growing, Panuro, an opportunity for Robinson, and Panuro couldn't get to it. Senators almost got in trouble there. It's going to start getting a little physical. The referee's going to have to tough it up a little bit. Shot on goal, blocked by the defense. Harding has it. Fullerton is going to connect with Henderson. And now with the head, Senators are putting pressure. Number 18 is going to chase that ball. She's going to control it. She's going to try to cross it with the right foot. She's going to challenge the one-on-one top of the box at Panuro. Defense building from the back. And now it's number 30 on the jersey, Berryman, with a cross inside the box to the hands of the goalkeeper with 5 minutes left in the half. It's 1-0. Harding. Good job. This is what I was saying a while ago. Just got to hold it a little bit. Be patient with the ball. Good job by number 2, Bella. That's what Bella needs to do. She's going to be in charge of creating some opportunities and feeding the forwards. She has to find a way to be patient, find the right time, protect the ball when she has to. And I believe this is the first time that Robinson is getting into the box. Free kick, goalkeeper communicates well with number 15 and to the hands. The ball comes.
And this is not the only place on campus where they play soccer, because there's also the Bill Stevens complex here, and that's where you typically see Central Arkansas soccer at. But still, you know, at this level, you know, you don't see too many soccer games being played in D1 football stadiums. That makes this kind of an interesting venue for Weekend of Champions, a unique venue. But I've got to admit, looking at this view from here, it's a great place to watch a game, especially here on this special weekend in Arkansas.
And we were talking about the growth of soccer in Northwest Arkansas. A lot of the high schools are facing that issue because, you know, they have a football facility they have to share with the rest of the community, the student community. And, you know, it's getting to the point that, you know, the coaches cannot run the practice the way that they want to because we're sharing facilities. So I hope that, you know, resources are put in place, and that way they can have a soccer place, because it makes sense, you know. I know Bentonville High School has their soccer facility and their football facility, and it still is not enough because they're using both fields. Because now it's, you know, back in the day it was just one team. Now every school has 4 teams because you have the junior varsity and the senior team. Corner kick. Long ball to the far post. Panuro trying to get it going. Panuro fought 3 times in a row. And now it's counter attack. Number 7 has it. Keres wanted to get to that ball. Oof, that's a foul right there. Number 18, Katie Jones, got run over by number 7, I believe, Keres Bernard. a minute to play in the half. Harding might go into the break, leading 1-0. Coming live at the NFHS network. Tell your friends, tell your relatives, if for some reason they feel that they are missing the game, hey, we got you here. Soccer State Finals 2023. Powered by Centennial Bank, looks like.
Centennial Bank, one of the key sponsors not only for the soccer state championships here, but the entire weekend of champions, along with some of the other championship activities through the AAA throughout the year. And you can see it there on the far side, just a wide array of sponsors that have helped to make events like this possible. And what a great event it is here to see all these great schools coming together, some of the top talent in the state.
Clearing the ball. Harding has it.
You can tell Akpenudo's inching closer, though, to getting that good look inside that she wants. We'll see if she can get it before half, but time is running out quickly.
And I'll think they'll do it. We're going to go into the break with Harding leading 1-0. Goal scored by Chloe Fullerton, number 42 on the jersey, top of the 8th minute. And with that, we'll take a break and we'll recap the first 40 minutes of the 4A state championship match between Harding and Robinson. You're watching the NFHS Network. And we are back for the second half. Of the referee crew has gone into the field. And Chase, first 40 minutes, looks like Harding is all over the place. I wonder, what's the game plan for the second half for the Senators?
Well, for the Senators, I think you've just got to get Harding Academy out of their rhythm, because right now they're playing exactly to their strength. This is exactly what we saw against Episcopal last year. They got an early lead thanks to keeping the ball in the opponent's defensive third for most of the first half. We'll see if Robinson can not only do what Episcopal did in the first part of that second half last year where they started to even up the match, but they've also got to keep the gas pedal down and make sure that they capitalize on the opportunities, keep it out of the defensive third and get it into the opposite third so that they can try and continue to pile on the points. That's been the key in this one, is that Harding Academy has kept the ball out of their own defensive third, and when that happens, it's very tough for the Senators to try and put goals up of their own. They just haven't really had any opportunities. I'm not sure if they've had a single shot on goal in this entire match thus far.
And the key players to watch for Harding is still Panudo and Fullerton. Those two players who, when they connect, they can make some damage. Senate referee has blown the whistle. And here we go with the next 40 minutes. Another interesting match coming up at noon. And Conway might be in favor of this one, being almost a home field advantage. It's going to be against Springdale Bulldogs.
That's going to be a fun one to watch for the Wampus Cats. They're looking to make it back-to-back state championships in the 6A. And what an opportunity to get to do it here, like you said, Carlos, basically in front of their home crowd here today. For Springdale, going to be a little bit tougher having to make the trip down from Northwest Arkansas, but you know the Bulldogs, they're going to be fired up, and they're going to be ready to play their best soccer when they get here later this afternoon.
And last year, I don't remember top of my head, I know that Conway was in the finals last year, but I don't remember who did they play.
If I'm not mistaken, it may have been a Fayetteville team that they played.
Can't remember. But should be a good match with those two teams coming up. Springdale playing their best season in the last 3 games of the regular season. Find a way to get into the playoffs, and now here in the finals.
And Conway really trying to make a statement in the 6A, because you look at a lot of the top teams in that classification, normally that classification runs through the northwest part of the state. You look at all the powerhouses up there. You've got Springdale that's going to be here today. You've also got Fayetteville along with Bentonville has developed a nice program up there. A lot of great teams. But here in Central Arkansas and Conway, they're trying to say, hey, we've got some great teams down here as well.
Goalkeeper Crimson almost in trouble that with the long ball. They almost went over her head, and now the Senators keeping Harding in their defensive third, at least in the first 3 minutes of the match.
That's going to be the key, is to keep the ball in that third. Here comes Akpanudo now, trying to get the ball downfield for Harding Academy. You know the Wildcats want to flip the field a little bit here, but Robinson doing a good job here of standing their ground.
And this last 40 minutes, I'm sure coach knows it, that they're going to have to find a way to get one and force Harding to go the extra time. Harding moving the ball. Senators with the long ball. Trying to get to number 24, Howell. Goalkeeper Crimson. On the go. Harding trying to connect with number 33 on the jersey. An opportunity, shot on goal with the left foot. Goal! 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 goal. Goal! Anna Snow! Broke into the defense, find a way to put the ball to her left foot, shot it to the near post, and the goalkeeper couldn't do anything about it.
And for Snow, she made that play look a lot easier than it probably was because her whole momentum was rolling off to the right side that time. She did a great job of not only stopping her momentum, successfully shifting the ball to her left foot, and then with that left foot, she had the goalkeeper thinking she was going to try to go to that top left corner, but instead she sneaks it in on the right side, going left to right yet again. Not an easy goal by any means, but Snow providing some much-needed insurance for the Wildcats here early in the second half.
And when the Senators were playing the best 4 minutes of the second half, the first time that Harding goes in and going back to the quality of shot, the goalkeeper was getting in place to cover that near and then moving to the far post. And, you know, for a second I thought she was going to court that ball to the far post, but she did a great finish. And now Harding once more getting behind the backs, crossing the ball. And it's going to be a corner kick for Harding.
And this is where Robinson really has to lock down because Harding, when they score goals, they like to score them in bunches. They're wanting to roll off that momentum of the goal a few moments ago, and you can bet they're going to be aggressive here on the corner kick.
Corner kick for Harding. Right footer in the backs, Panudo. Goalkeeper comes on Panudo. That's a foul there. Referee says no. That they're going to call a foul on Panudo on the goalie. Coming up next, it's Bulldogs versus Wildcats. It's going to be a fast game. Very tactical. Conway has found a way to be successful on set pieces. We'll see if Sprindle can figure it out. Panudo. Robinson clearing the ball. Good job by number 2, Kell, fighting for the ball. And Kell is going to have to find a way to motivate the rest of the teammates to play aggressive. But again, this is, when you get to the summer, Chase, this is where you hope that your team gets their fit. Because you play in a surface, it's going to be hot. And I preach this, the fitness part of it. Because in games like this will pay off. Whoever can last 90 minutes or 120 minutes going up and down, it's like a running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
soccer is certainly a game of stamina. You've just got to keep moving forward, and Harding Academy's done that here today. They've kept the momentum rolling forward. They're going to have a key opportunity here to try and add on another insurance goal if they can execute on the set piece here with the corner kick.
Shout out to Fernando Fuentes, one of the coaches for Green Forest High School, who is watching live via NFHS Network all the way up in Green Forest. Fernando Fuentes getting his Tigers ready for tomorrow's match between Hassel Academy of Bentonville. You can see Springdale Bulldogs making their way out. I believe they travel on a charter bus yesterday. Chase, I think the last time that we talked, we mentioned that, I coached the 2005 Bentonville FC Prodigy, and we took our team to play in Guatemala last summer in June, where we played the top 6 clubs in the country, the professionals in those academies. What a great experience for those players, not only culturally, but also with soccer. And today the World Cup U20 starts, and Guatemala is playing, and in one of the teams that we play against, an opportunity gets saved by the goalkeeper there for the Senators. 9 of those guys that we play against are in the World Cup. And you cannot take those experiences away from those kids because they got to see the potential, they got to see the quality, and the hope that if you work hard, then things might be just all right.
It's amazing to see how the beautiful game has grown into really this international affair. You mentioned those opportunities getting to play against some of the best in the world. It's really been a great year across the world for soccer, globalizing the game. I think a big part of that too was the World Cup that we saw, especially that World Cup final, one of the best in recent memory between France and Argentina. Everyone is excited for Lionel Messi to win his very first World Cup, really that one achievement that had eluded him his entire career, but also a strong showing from Mbappe going down the stretch. His team was down. He kept them in the match all the way into penalty kicks, but in the end, Argentina coming out on top, finally getting that trophy that had eluded them for so long.
And the best player, I'm not sure if it's the best player or the MVP. I think Mbappe should have got that one, but hard to argue against Messi. Goal kick. Harding on the goal. She's going to challenge the one-on-one. And Panudo right there to the near post. Goalkeeper, not a problem there.
And something that has really stood out about Harding Academy in this match is that they've had to go away from one of their top players in this one. Akpanudo has been defended very well in this match. And this is usually where you separate the good teams from the great teams. You have your star scorer out there in Akpanudo. Harding Academy knows that. And also Robinson knows that. We've seen that. They've game planned around Akpanudo to try and limit her from scoring. But her teammates have been there to step up. We mentioned Fullerton with the first goal on the penalty kick. Anna Snow coming up with the score. Here in the second half, that insurance. So even though Akpanudo has been held off the scoreboard, her teammates have really stepped up, and they've shown their team chemistry that they've developed in the offseason leading up to this moment. Again, it's just that preparation, that ability to step up, have somebody from each position step up at any given moment. That's what separates the good teams from the great teams, and thus far, Harding Academy proving they're amongst those great teams.
So it's going to be a free kick.
And Carlos, it's also been one of the consistencies for us being here. We talked about our three-peat here, our third year together calling these games. If Harding Academy holds on in this one, this will also be the third consecutive state championship. They will have won a state title every year that we have called these games.
Moving the ball around. On the goal. Might be an offside position. Assistant referee calls it right away. That was a close one right there.
Snow was setting up on the right side again. You could tell that she wanted to go to that left foot and just drive it. But again, that offsides call derails the momentum a little bit there. And if you're Robinson, breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief, as now you get a chance to reset.
An opportunity foul there, call right in front of the assistant referee. Still, now it looks like Harden is back on managing the game well. You can see right now Harden kind of settling as the ball might be a corner kick there for Harden.
We'll see what set piece the Wildcats draw up here because they have gotten a few corner kicks, just haven't been able to put the ball in the net on any of those set pieces yet. They've had success in the other areas, but this is the one area that has eluded them in terms of goals.
Corner kick. Looks like might be a foul there. "25 minutes to play in the game." Harden serving the ball, trying to serve the ball. You know, this is the third player, I believe, they kind of fall down or slide as they trying to kick the ball. I wonder if, I don't know how the surface is there. I haven't been on the field. But, you know, the turf, usually when I used to play or when I still play on turf, I don't use regular cleats, I use the other one. Cross ball, chasing it. Panudo. And I think right now the Senators are doing what they were doing during the first half, is just, you know, clearing the ball and trying to find somebody up there.
Great opportunity now.
Good movement of the ball. And this is where they have to be patient. You just got to move the ball, find some players, knock the ball around, and then be wise when they're trying to cross the ball. And then, you know, you got to get players behind your ball, and that way you can recover. Senators, good job, good movement there with the left foot. The ball's going to go out. 23 minutes to play in the game. Looks like Conway fans getting into the stands, getting ready to cheer on the Wildcats, who are looking to make a statement against Sprindle. Sprindle, who has a very young team too. Looks like there is a handball. Center referee calls it right away. And you don't have to rush like this, you know, because, you know, right now the Senators have 6 players in the back as they are attacking. You want to attack with at least 6 to 7 players to have some opportunities. And I think that's the challenge, you know, how do you encourage your players to get engaged in the attack, and especially when you're losing 2-0. Panudo holding the ball, finding some support on the left side. Got to watch for Fullerton, who's making that run to the far post. It's a challenge, one-on-one, shot on goal, and Fullerton is going to get it. She's going to have it. She's going to maintain possession. And good job by the defense. Number 4 has it. Got to look for some support. Number 4 connecting. Cleveland. You can see the faces on the players too and how the heat is catching up.
And like you mentioned, Carlos, this is where all that conditioning, especially in the summer months and the off season, comes into
Fullerton
play.
with the cross. Yes. Go ahead.
Well, that was all I was going to mention, is that this is really where that conditioning starts to come into play. You train all off season long, and especially in those summer months, to get ready for those hot games when it starts to heat up in May. This is where all that training has been leading up to. We'll see which team can withstand the heat the longest here, because that is going to play a huge factor in who comes out on top today.
Good job by Karis, by number 2 Bella on that long ball. Harding connecting at Panuro. And now it's Fullerton. This is where the challenge and the problem can be. Fullerton crossed that ball. Good job on defense though. Still a ball. It's a 2v1 or 2v2. The ball coming back to Fullerton. She's going to cross it with the right foot. Ball in the box. An opportunity for Harding. The defense kind of fall asleep on that one right there. Getting close to the water break, I think. Looks like there's a handball there. The assistant referee called it.
And I thought maybe they'd call a water break here, but it looks like they're just going to keep playing, at least for the time being.
Free kick. Looks like Bella is going to in charge of it. But this is the difference. So, you know, Senators have 4 players, and then the Harding has 8 players behind the ball. So you got to find out where you got to be able to read the game and say, okay, do I want to go with the long ball, or should I take advantage? They give him a space. Let's take the space. Have them compromise to get out so we can have even numbers when we go by with the long ball. And they're going to take the short water break, and we'll do that as well. So we'll resume here in about a couple minutes. 18 minutes to play, and that's how much Robinson will have to find a way to tie the game and force it to overtime. So we'll see if they're capable of it. This is, during the break we were talking. I mean, do you take the risk, and if so, what kind of risk are you willing to take if you're the Senators?
That's right, because one thing we've seen about Robinson is that they haven't really fully committed to an attack yet. They've had some players going into that opponent's defensive third, trying to go on the attack, but at the same time, you're also keeping a few defenders back to try and guard in case the ball gets passed. And then, because Harding Academy has proven in this match that they are fully capable of taking the ball and flipping the field very quickly. They can get into those open spaces, and when you have those numbers advantages on those runs, that's when Harding is at its most dangerous. So the question is for Robinson, when do you draw that line if we're going to send in more players, knowing there's a risk we allow a goal on the other end? Because right now, even though they're doing their best trying to attack with limited numbers, it's not resulting in anything really on the scoreboard yet for the Senators.
Harding on the go. Top of the box. Fullerton with the right foot. Fullerton in the box. Fullerton with the left foot. And again, Harding. Ball to the goalkeeper. Good two back-to-back attempts there by Fullerton. And the other thing, Chase, the goalkeeper, when they're punting the ball, she needs to be careful when punting the ball. She releases the ball inside the box for the punt for not to count against her.
And that's such a tough goal down there, especially on that right side. Trying to see where the line is drawn, and even on the opposite side. We've seen that in both boxes here today. It's been tough to tell where that line is drawn just because the paint blends in a little bit with the gray out there on the turf. That's made it tough not only for the goalies but also for the officials because, like we saw in the first half, it was a tough call there at the top of the box. Was it in the box or was it not? Tough to tell when the lines are blurred a little bit.
Substitution came in. Ava Klein, number 1 on the jersey, senior, came in for, I believe, number 24, Howell. Moving the ball, Siena. Arpanudo, Fullerton. Fullerton cuts inside, finds somebody in the box. Might be a corner kick for Harding. With a little bit over 16 minutes to play. Corner kick. An opportunity right there, goalkeeper, not a problem.
That was Claire City that time trying to go for the header. And it wasn't terrible execution that time, just bounced a little bit awkwardly off the top of her head. She was trying to direct it forward, but ended up popping straight up. That allowed the goalkeeper to get over to the ball, but again, we're seeing a lot of different Wildcat players getting down close to the goal and having great looks. And you have to think, we've already seen goals scored here this afternoon for the Wildcats, but you have to think if they keep getting looks like that, they're just going to continue to add on to their lead.
Offside position there. The assistant referee flagged it. And the center is running out of time. Good opportunity there. 50-50 ball. Challenged by the goalkeeper there. I just like to see the aggressiveness, when close play like that comes. it's a blessing to have an opportunity to cover high school games or college games because you get to see and to hear. Fullerton, top of the box. Fullerton with the right foot, an opportunity. A Panuro. Ay, 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 qué momento. You don't see a Panuro missing like that often.
You almost never see that. And for Akpanudo, it's been such a struggle today to try and get those looks. Really, that's the first clean look she's had today. So you thought she's definitely going to capitalize on this opportunity, but it doesn't always happen that way. Even the best slip up sometimes. That's another case of it right there. But again, don't be surprised if Akpanudo gets in a position to where she can try and score and make this a 3-goal advantage for her team here over the next few minutes.
Number 21, Hart coming in. Number 3, taking a break for Harding. Clear City. An opportunity for Harding. Shot on goal this time. The goalkeeper with another save.
It's been a commendable effort here today from Dupaz. For Robinson, it's really been a game where Harding has controlled the defensive third for most of the match. So there have been plenty of opportunities down low, but Dupaz really, besides that goal kick and then getting outplayed on that one excellent goal from Anna Snow where she really kicked that one across her body, Dupaz has been excellent here today. Just got beat by a couple of really good plays by Harding Academy.
That was a great ball crossed by the defense, got right there in time. Senators trying to clear that ball. 12 minutes left in the game. Harding leading 2-0. Goals scored by number 42. Top of the 8th minute, Chloe Fullerton. And then top of the 44th minute, kinda, Anna Snow put the 2-0, and that's how Harding is up on the score. Shout out to Coach Julio Ayala, watching live in the NFHS network, all the way in Ceylon Springs. Coach Julio Ayala, who is the assistant coach of the Harbor Wildcats, who they lost 1-0, I believe, against Conway.
Springdale Harbor, another one of those teams that is always in that conversation for who's going to bring home that coveted 6A state title. We've seen Harbor in the state title game in recent years. Just not the case this year. Lost a tough defensive battle against Conway. So now the Wampus Cats getting a chance to play in their hometown. But as you mentioned, Carlos, if that goal goes the other way, you're looking at a completely different team here at the Weekend of Champions.
That's where, for players who are playing club or playing outside this, their school, whoever is working with them, you gotta make sure that they teach the fundamentals and the basics, because when these players get to the high school, high school coaches unfortunately don't have the time to be working on basic needs for individual players. Whether it's a throw-in, whether it's a set piece, it's like coaching a national team. You get all these players, you have a small amount of time to get them ready, and unless you're one of those coaches that will go the extra mile and will do extra stuff, and I'm not saying that coaches are not doing it, I'm just saying that if to develop the program the way that you want it, has to be more than just the time that you get the players in your school facility has to find a way to be engaged. I remember, and I don't know how much the rules are changed, but when I used to coach Roy's high school, uh, we used to train twice a week, twice a day, uh, because the facilities, because we had to find a way to get the fitness part. Uh, but like I always tell my kids, you don't need me to to run a session of fitness. You can do the fitness on your own. You can work on your sprint, your endurance, because coaches. I hate when I have to do fitness because my players are not doing what they're supposed to as far as that part. Because that time can be utilized for tactical or for any other things other than running.
Well, and you can tell from the way that both of these teams have played here today that they have committed to the game and every element of preparation, not only what the coaches are asking them to do when they're at practice, but you can tell that each one of these players has taken that time to try and improve themselves off of the field as well. That extra time when you're alone, again, that discipline to where you're going, working on not only your strength but also your endurance. We've talked about the importance of stamina in these late season matches. All of that work comes to a head here at the Weekend of Champions, and both of these teams have put on a strong showing here today. For Harding Academy, currently on top. And you have to wonder now at this point in the match if they're going to try and attack or if they'll try to play a little bit of keep away along the way as well to try and drain some of that clock.
And a reminder that this 2-0 is the most dangerous score. Because if you take the pedal off the gas, you give the opposition an opportunity to come back, and you might get in trouble.
For Robinson, though, the Senators are going to have to work a little bit more up-tempo here. They're running out of time at the end of the match. Still not out of reach, but they've got to get the ball back into that other third. They've got to get it out of their own defensive third. And I think this is where you start to really weigh the risk of going full out on those attacks.
Avery Caldwell came in for the Senators. Holding the ball is Bella. Bella connecting with number 33 on the jersey, Bell. And now back to Bella. Collapsing there, might be a foul there. You can hear the fans. Looks like a Sprindle is coming in with a tambor. I wonder if the school district provides some transportation for fans to come this way. Looks like we're going to have them right here, Chase.
And for Springdale, not a short trip here.
Oh, goal! Oof, that was close. Goalkeeper. From here, that was a long shot. And want to make this point, Chase. There have been three plays with that ball prior to this one has almost got the goalkeeper in trouble. On this one, if the ball wasn't targeted, it could have been a 2-1. Going back to, what do you do? Do you take it easy? I saw a Panuro coming in, taking a break as number 9. It's coming in to get some playing time, not a Henderson. And it's not over until that clock has 0-0.
Still plenty of time to try and make something happen here.
And this is going back to the risk. Okay, 7 minutes left, or 6. What do we do? Do we push everybody up if you're Senators? And if you are Harding, do you start defending?
And about 6.5 minutes left here in the second half. For Harding Academy, this is going to feel like the 6.5 longest minutes of your season. But for Robinson, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to go by in a flash, so you've got to capitalize on every opportunity you get in the opposite third. For Harding Academy, they're wanting to just take the ball down the field and keep it away from their opponent.
Coming up next is the state finals for the 6A West between the Springdale Bulldogs and the Conway. Are they Wildcats?
They're Wampus Cats.
Wampus Cats. It's going to be a great match. Can Conway go back-to-back?
And not only that, do it in their own hometown.
Nothing better than that. You know, this is where you hope that your community, meaning Conway community, comes and fill this stadium. You know, because the kids have done tremendous job to get there, or to get here. And it's no better feeling than playing with people watching you.
And I'm already seeing some of the blue filing in there on the left side. So I think the Wampus Cats are going to have plenty of fans here this afternoon. Maybe one of the best fan showings we have here at the Weekend of Champions.
Looks like Apanuro is about to come back in after getting a little rest. Corner kick. And you don't want to get in trouble in this corner kick, as number 21 for Harding is coming off hard. Going back in is Apanuro. Four minutes to play in the game. Corner kick. Centers trying to get something going top. Harding bringing the ball to the back. And now looks like Akpanura is going to get some action, and with the head she serves. Might be an offside position. Assistant referee says no, shot on goal. Goalkeeper blocks it. That was a great job by the goalkeeper, Dupas. And Harding has, you know, the four defenders in the back just park the bus, like some coaches say, hoping that they take care of business on top. Fullerton wanted that last ball. Three minutes and a little bit over 30 seconds in the clock. Robinson.
That was great hustle by Fullerton that time. Sneaking back from behind and retaining possession for her team, as it looked like it would have been a golden opportunity for Robinson, but now the script has flipped a little bit.
And unless a miracle happens, looks like Harding is going to walk away with this one, Chase.
It's going to be a three-peat for the Wildcats. What a run for Harding Academy's program. First year at the 4A level. There was that question of, could that success from 3A translate to 4A? And the answer here today has been undoubtedly yes. If this stands, it's going to be a perfect season for the Wildcats, a perfect introduction to their new classification. But for Robinson, an impressive season in their own right.
Good ball there for the Senators. Looks like the ball is going to go away with a little bit over 2 minutes to play in the game. And you said loud and clear, what a great season for them, for Harding. Coming up next is the 6A finals on the boys' side between Springdale Bulldogs and Conway. here on the NFHS network. Takeaways from the match.
I think for Harding Academy, you just have to look at a complete performance here today. This is a team that you can tell is well-conditioned. They have a lot of team chemistry. One of the stories coming into this game was how would Akpanudo factor into today's game because she had such a strong showing last year. Robinson was ready for her. They limited her opportunities down low, but her teammates were able to step up, and I think that was the big takeaway here from Harding Academy is that they had perfect execution in those moments when it really counted because neither of the two goals that they scored were easy. You look at the first goal from Fullerton, she had to earn that on a PK, and even then, it was a right read from the goalkeeper, but perfect execution, tucking it into that back left corner, and then same thing with Snow on the opposite end in the second half. She had to go across her body, not only stop her full forward momentum, but switch feet, and then also cross it back across her body once again. You look at those plays, and along with the hustle plays like we saw from Fullerton and several of her teammates on the defensive side of the ball, all of those came to a head here at the end of the game, and it looks like the Wildcats are going to hoist the trophy as a result. But for Robinson, you've also got to look at this season. You had 4 losses relatively early in the season, but going down the stretch, going over a month without allowing a goal, that's an impressive season, and you can already hear the fans for Harding Academy counting down those last few seconds as they are nearing the culmination of a 3rd straight championship season.
And congratulations to both teams to making it to the finals. And to the seniors who played their last game, this is a way to do it, and you can see the celebration right there in the half of the field. And it's an amazing feeling, and you know it's the sadness and the happiness of the sport. One is gonna celebrate, and the other one is gonna have to have a short-term memory to move to the next level. And I always like what Kobe Bryant used to say: training will start tomorrow.
That's right. And you look at these two teams, a lot of these players are going to be back next year. They're going to want to be right back here at the Weekend of Champions trying to claim that state title. But for now, Harding Academy is going to hoist the trophy for the 3rd straight year, first time as the 4A state champion.
And with that, we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back, we'll bring you Springdale versus Conway. You're watching the NFHS Network.